PUM. Despite being imprisoned, Alexei Navalny continued to assert himself as the primary opposition figure in Russia, fearlessly addressing controversial topics that challenged the authorities. Acknowledged as a political prisoner by global entities, Navalny actively advocated against the conflict in Ukraine through video appearances during trial proceedings from his confinement. Tragically, his life was cut short while serving his sentence on February 16, 2024. In this video, we will revisit the pivotal moments of Navalny's political defiance and the relentless attempts by the Putin administration to silence him, while also examining the various narratives surrounding his untimely demise. Alexei Navalny's political journey has been nothing short of tumultuous, filled with highs and lows that have kept the public on the edge of their seats. His foray into politics began in 2000 when he joined the Yabloko party, a move that marked the start of a meteoric rise within the political ranks. From his early days in the party, Navalny wasted no time in making a name for himself. By 2002, he had secured a seat on the regional council of the Moscow branch of Yabloko, setting the stage for his future political endeavors. The following year, he took charge of the Moscow election campaign for the party during the State Duma elections, showcasing his strategic acumen and leadership skills. In 2005, Navalny shifted gears and threw his hat into the ring as a nominee for the Moscow City Duma, further solidifying his presence on the political scene. However, his time with Yabloko was not without controversy, as he was eventually expelled in 2007 amidst allegations of causing political harm to the party. Navalny himself attributed his ousting to a clash with party founder Grigory Yavlinsky, revealing the underlying tensions within the political organization. Undeterred by setbacks, Navalny co-founded the National Democratic Movement, People, positioning himself as a prominent voice in the political landscape. Initially aligning with nationalist ideals, Navalny later steered his focus towards combating corruption, a decision that would change the trajectory of his career. In 2013, Navalny entered the spotlight as a candidate in the Moscow mayoral election, capturing the public's attention with his promises of empowering local governance and addressing key societal issues. Although he fell short of clinching the mayoral seat, his campaign laid the groundwork for his evolution into a formidable anti-corruption crusader. Not one to shy away from challenges, Navalny set his sights on the 2018 Russian presidential election, only to face hurdles with the Central Election Commission denying his candidacy due to a prior criminal record. Despite the setback, Navalny continued to champion transparency and accountability through his Anti-Corruption Foundation, FBK, earning both acclaim and scrutiny for his relentless pursuit of justice. Fast forward to 2021, Navalny's steadfast commitment to exposing corruption led to the recognition of FBK as an extremist organization by the Moscow City Court, marking a turning point in his activism. Accusations of using Nazi symbols and inciting unlawful actions underscored the contentious nature of Navalny's endeavors, highlighting the complexities of his political legacy. In a career defined by resilience and determination, Alexei Navalny has carved a distinctive path marked by fervent advocacy and unwavering defiance against corruption. In the murky waters of criminal prosecution, Alexei Navalny found himself entangled in a web of accusations and legal battles that threatened to consume him. The authorities wasted no time in launching their first salvos, determined to intimidate him and quash any dissenting voices. The allegations were weighty. Serving as an advisor to Kirov Governor Nikita Belik, Navalny was accused of orchestrating a fraudulent scheme that disadvantaged the Kirovle State Unitary Enterprise. The investigation claimed that a timber supply contract with Vyatskaya Lesnaya Kompania LLC, orchestrated by Navalny, resulted in significant financial loss amounting to 16 million rubles. This initial charge soon morphed into a more severe accusation of organizing the embezzlement of other people's property on a massive scale. The legal battle was fierce, culminating in a hard-fought court case where Navalny and his partner Pyotr Ofitserov were sentenced to years behind bars. Yet, the pendulum swung back and forth, with the suspended sentence eventually overturned, and Navalny handed a new sentence of probation and a hefty fine. The turbulent ride did not end there. The Yves Rocher case added fuel to the fire, painting a picture of alleged fraud and deception on a grand scale. The Navalny brothers were accused of siphoning off millions from the Russian branch of the prestigious French cosmetics company. The intricate web of deceit involved inflated prices, fake contracts, and a complex network of accomplices. As the legal saga unfolded, Navalny found himself under house arrest, facing the prospect of a lengthy probation period hanging over his head like a dark cloud. The emotional toll of the relentless pursuit by the authorities was palpable, as he fought tooth and nail to clear his name and seek justice in a system fraught with challenges and obstacles. Through the twists and turns of the legal labyrinth, Navalny stood as a symbol of resilience against the backdrop of a justice system riddled with complexities and uncertainties. The detailed analysis of Navalny's liquidation operation and miraculous rescue reveals a disturbing pattern of surveillance and attempted assassinations by the FSB agents. The use of chemical weapons and the involvement of high-ranking officials in planning and executing these attacks raise serious concerns about the Russian government's complicity. The miraculous rescue of Navalny, who narrowly escaped death multiple times, underscores the gravity of the situation and the urgent need for accountability and justice. According to an analysis of passenger databases, FSB agents began discreetly shadowing Navalny from as early as January 16, 2017, shortly after the oppositionist declared his intention to run for president. Over the course of 2017 to 2020, journalists documented 37 instances where FSB agents trailed Navalny during his travels. Bellingcat suggests that the FSB's surveillance of Navalny was not simply for monitoring purposes, as it would have been easier for the agents to travel alongside him inconspicuously. The involvement of doctors and specialists in chemical weapons raised doubts about the true intentions behind the surveillance. On the night of August 19th, while Navalny was meeting with his team at a restaurant, FSB agents made calls to individuals in Tomsk and Moscow. Subsequent phone data places one of the agents near Navalny's hotel. The next morning, as Navalny's team headed to the airport, exchanges between individuals indicated coordination of activities. Navalny's movements leading up to his poisoning were closely tracked, with suspicions initially raised about poison being placed in his tea. However, traces of Novichok were later found on a bottle left by Navalny at his hotel. After Navalny fell unconscious on a flight from Tomsk to Moscow, he was hospitalized and later transferred to a clinic in Berlin for treatment. Toxicological analysis confirmed the presence of a Novichok nerve agent in his samples. Despite denials of involvement, the Russian leadership faced backlash from the EU, UK, and OPCW member states, who imposed sanctions and called for a thorough investigation into the incident. On September 22nd, Navalny was discharged from Charité. He underwent rehabilitation in Germany, after which he returned to Russia on January 17, 2021, where he was detained on arrival at Moscow's Sheremetyevo airport on charges of violating the terms of probation in the Yves Rocher criminal case. He was then sent to prison, where he died 3 years later. According to the official version, the politician died of sudden death syndrome. The problem is that in the version of the International Classification of Diseases, ICD-10, which should guide Russian doctors, there is no such wording. On February 17th, Navalny's lawyer and Alexei's parents reached the colony, but the body was not released to them, referring to the fact that it is in Salakard. In Salakard, at first they couldn't decide where the body was, and then representatives of the investigative committee said that there would be no transfer of the body to relatives until the end of the examination. This may be an indirect confirmation that the cause of death of Alexei Navalny could be physical impact, beatings, or injection with an unknown drug. A source from the FSB said on the morning of February 17th that Navalny's death is definitely an assassination, committed on Putin's orders. According to the FSB interlocutor, Putin had long ago instructed that his hand-picked assassin, Vadim Krasikov, sitting in a Berlin prison, be exchanged for Americans arrested in Russia. The Americans brazenly haggled and raised the stakes. In an interview with Carlson, it was publicly indicated to them that the exchange could be on our terms. They did not take it seriously. The response was to make them more cooperative by eliminating some of the hostages, but not U.S. citizens. There was a big choice, but the two most obvious and status hostages were Navalny and Kara-Murza. The choice was between them. They chose Navalny, our interlocutor believes. The president of the Russian Federation has not yet publicly commented on Navalny's death. After Alexei Navalny's death, major Western publications, from the French newspaper Le Figaro to the American The Wall Street Journal, devoted front pages to him. Columns about the Russian opposition leader appeared in the New York Times, The Guardian, The Washington Post, and many other publications. Admiring Navalny's bravery, the editors of the world's leading media outlets point out that his assassination is a dark moment for Russia and a turning point for the entire free world. Meanwhile, rallies in memory of Alexei Navalny are taking place in Russia. People bring flowers, candles, and portraits of the politician to memorials to political prisoners and victims of repression in their cities. The authorities prevent them. Police cordon off the areas around the monuments. Unknown people destroy spontaneous memorials, removing flowers and other memorial signs. The widow of opposition activist Alexei Navalny, Yulia Navalnaya, released a video message in which she said she would continue her husband's cause. I will continue Alexei Navalny's cause, to continue to fight for our country with you. I address you with the words of Alexei, who very much believed, it is not shameful to do little, it is shameful to do nothing. It is shameful to let yourself be intimidated, said the politician's wife. Thank you for watching. Please give a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe.